Historically, a good race for first victories with Button, Hill, Alonso and Heikki Kovalainen all reaching the top step of the podium for the first time here. We're northeast of Budapest for the race today at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring circuit. 14 corners here, 8 to the right and 6 to the left, on a track where downforce is king and passing is notoriously difficult. With the Grand Prix nearly upon us, Anthony Davidson is by my side once again to offer his perspective. Let's talk about King. No grid penalties, no mitigating circumstances, just a poor qualifying performance and a very disappointing start position for them today.
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Perez, Norris, Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Ocon, Alesi, Yuki Tsunoda and Russell, Mick Schumacher, Joe, King and Nicholas Latifi, Stroll, Schwartzman, Giovinazzi and Nikita Mazepin. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. There'll be smiles back at the factory after that one. A great race and a real team performance to take victory here in Hungary. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to King. There was a lot going on all down the field, but they were the only one who I really felt maximised their potential.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Go, go, go. We'll be doing one more stop today.
Who would you say is your biggest rival at the moment? You lost to your teammate today. Was it just not your day? Your team did an incredible job at this track in comparison to last season. Is this something you've been preparing for? Appreciate your time.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Well, it's great to be back at your headquarters, and I've got to say, an awful lot's changed since we were last here. Let's dive in with some questions. In a recent interview, you spoke on the topic of mental health in sports, and you mentioned you were initiating a mental health program at your team HQ. What drove this decision? You spoke a while back of a significant investment in your chassis department. Has this investment given your team the push it needs to make substantial gains this weekend? A recent survey found that your staff have the highest employee satisfaction of all the F1 teams. That's quite the accolade. In your opinion, what makes you the best team to work for in Formula One? Your social media posted some interesting photos recently of ex-racing driver Lucas. Just picked up the latest issue of MXF magazine, and look who's on the cover. What was it like for your teammate working with those folks? Well, thanks a lot for inviting us here. It's been fantastic.
Our income is solid at the moment. We should start considering where we can look to invest the profit we're making back into the team.